got a couple more questions out. Yeah, but my phone about to get ready to go dead right now, y'all. I'm gonna make sure I'm real because really this right here was a spur of the moment deal because I had forgot about that I had told you today and I thought it was 6, but it's 5 my time, 6 your time, so I forgot about the hour difference. Hey, but we're gonna thank you for coming out though, brother. I'm gonna get ready to get out because it's gonna go dead, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, look, I'm gonna hook you up, but I'm gonna get with you where we could get back on. Cause this right here is an interesting topic, man. I got a lot of questions, and then I already know all the stuff that's in your head about it. That it'll clear a lot of stuff up that people be asking me all day long. Cause I don't really know that much about them. I just know a little about the moral science. I just started studying moral science probably like about 5 years ago. So
yeah, I've been studying it since '95.
Yeah, so you've been studying longer, almost. I was like 10 years old then. So like you've been studying for a long time on the moral science. Me, I've been studying and listening to the people that Bible told me to go check out Taj Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey. So I've been listening to those brothers.
Freeman Hill.
Yeah, Freeman Hill. And when I heard you gave me a whole, man, you increased my knowledge because you gave me a whole nother perspective on looking at this thing. And I love your perspective just made my whole view bigger. It made my view bigger than what it was. It bigged up it again because now I'm saying, okay, these niggas trying to force contracts on us. They trying to do all this shit. A lot of stuff going on in my head. You know what I'm saying? So I love your perspective. I love the way you look at things, the way you say it, and the way you call it. Because like my granddaddy said, call it like you see it, right? If it's a spade, that's a damn spade. You know, yeah, right. Yeah. So man, we about to get ready to get off, man. So I can go ahead and take my wife up into the stove. Because she got to go to a meeting at 8 o'clock. So I got to go to the stove and be back for her time to get to the dang on stove.
Oh, for sure. We got a nice little run in here. We got close.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's right, man. We do it again.
All right, that's right. We're gonna be on sometime this week again. And we're gonna probably, we might have another topic, but we'll cover some of the stuff that we missed in this one. But I think you pretty much answered the questions that we needed to get out. So man, we want to thank you for coming out, Brother Rod. Like I said, I'm gonna leave his links in the descriptions to his IG, and I'm gonna post the links to those the ones that we looked up in the comments, and I'll post his Cash App in the comments if you ain't get a chance to show him some love. So we're gonna get ready to sign out, man. Islam, peace, love, hotel, Shug, divine love, all through the boundless universe to all.
In their vaginal secretions for Y chromosomes. If women and men are natural mates, why is this present? Why does a woman body reject the male fetus once it's in there 70% of the time? And why is the odds of producing a female 3 times more likely than producing a male? Nobody asks these questions because it's not haphazard. So that in order to maintain control, there's a couple things that has to be done. First, you have to be denied knowledge yourself. And when I say knowledge yourself, I don't mean somebody telling you to look in the mirror and say you God and that's it, go home about your day. That's some bullshit. Knowledge yourself is how your body works. How do my physical body and my spirit body interact? This is knowledge yourself. When I learn how my physical body and my spiritual body interact, what is the effect that this have on my psychology, my mind power, my brain? Once I get that figured out, now I'm in a whole nother spectrum of information. I done went from anatomy to psychology to spirit science, and now I got to mesh all of it together. Now I got to be somewhere in physics. And once I get done with physics, I got to go to something called quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And once I get done with that, then I can start trying to figure out what I really am. So in simplified form, what we are is a earth-born star seeds. So when I say earth-born, that means because we born here in physical earth-based bodies. An earth-based body is composed of 21 complex amino acids. These amino acids make up your DNA. And your DNA serves as the central command center and the center of a cell that draws in an electromagnetic current on the outside of your cell what they call your membrane or membrane. The membrane is the antenna receiver that translates the radio signal that you call the self into the DNA and tell the DNA in what order does the binary encoded information need to fire in order to have the effect to produce the personality that you're looking at. But I don't supposed to know that because I'm supposed to be crazy, an idiot, and don't know shit. Now, this has always been known in Buddhism, Hinduism, the Far Eastern religions, and African indigenous religions, but the Western world, primary contingent on what they call the monotheistic religions of Judaism and Christianity and Islam. The information is still available, but the restrictions that the priesthood put on the practitioner for discovering the deception, they don't want to be exposed. Don't no preacher want to go in the church and all of the people looking at him sideways because he been knowing 30, 40 years he been teaching that Jesus is Isis. Jesus is a woman. Jesus is the queen of heaven and earth. And the Son of Man is her son, that they call the Son of Man out of mockery. As soon as y'all know that, and y'all have, you got to explain this, Reverend, how you knew the truth all this time that we've been waiting. Lucifer is a woman? Lucifer and Jesus the same? And it's a woman on top of that? What kind of foolishness is this for y'all to stand there and lie to us this whole time and you've been knowing the truth? You got people thinking Satan and Lucifer the same person, right? Satan and Lucifer the same person. Lucifer is Venus. Bright morning star is Venus. The same in Revelations as it is in Isaiah. The bright morning star is Venus. And she comes up right before the sunrise. Notice, right before who rise? The sun. Y'all don't pay no attention. I ain't the one to talk, so you ain't heard it from me. All right? So I'm going to look and see if anybody got any questions before I push any further, because I don't want to overload y'all circuits too fast with this. Because I know a lot of this stuff going to sound... for sure, Christ. Yeah. DNA here and respond to what we say. Okay, so now, while we looking at the DNA, all right, now the DNA showing us the cause of the conflict, because you got two rays of light that's not compatible under normal circumstances. What do you mean, two rays of light? When you look at Thoth and you look at the caduceus and you see the two serpents on the caduceus, and the same as a medical symbol, so you don't have fire. It's not the science that cover it up, it's the scientists. The science ain't gonna lie to you. It's the scientist that's gonna lie to you. It's the one that's being told by the church to lie to you that's gonna lie to you. It's not the science, it's the scientist. The science only gonna it's like a computer. It's only garbage in, garbage out. You know, if you put the truth in, you're going to get the truth out. If you ask a deceptive question, you're going to get a deceptive answer. It's just the way the computer works. It doesn't mean anything by it. So don't take it personal. But that's what it's going to do. Okay, so now, when we realize that there's the two serpents, and normally they'll be either gold and silver, they'll be red and black, and sometimes they'll be red and green, or red and yellow. But two lights I'm talking about is the amber red light and the emerald green light. They enter the body in two different locations. Now, when they become in harmony, it looks like they're flowing like this. So when you see the girls over in India doing dances with their hands and they moving, it's an energy field they're moving around their body. And the energy stems from the palm chakras. And it creates a ball in Tai Chi. But in India, they do something different with it. The ladies use it. They circle the energy around their hands, run it through their bodies, back up to the top of their head, to the sole of their feet into Mother Earth, gain more energy and get more deeper into the rhythm of the earth to produce the dance effect. They not really dancing like we do at the club because the energy of the earth is shooting through them and moving them. And the movements that you're seeing that look sudden and jerky, it's all it is the end of the current. When the current end, that switch to another current and it make them look jerky. So Mother Earth can talk to women on a level that will blow y'all mind if y'all understood it. And one of these days, I'm gonna get a fireman and I'm gonna start teaching them how to do it because I'm tired of looking at all this misery and don't nobody want to do nothing about it but me. So the next thing that you got to go through to find this, what happened to the fallen ones, you go down. Now we already got at Genesis with Eve and the serpent, we have something in the blood that ain't kosher, that's conflicting. And I walked you through how it was two opposing rays of light. These two opposing rays of light causes a psychological disruption. And this is what they call your good and your bad conscience, or your good self and your bad self, your higher self and your lower self. Both paths can be used to attain what they call enlightenment or higher wisdom. Both paths. You can go either one of them. It's because creator source is indifferent. Source is indifferent. And what we even see is pleasure and pain is just variance. You know, it's just variance. If we don't want it, it's pain. If we really, really want it, it's pleasure. And the more we want it and the more we move toward it, the more pleasure we feel in gaining it, we get to a point they call bliss. Point you're not even no longer aware of the three-dimensional reality. You are in a whole nother realm, but this is absolute pleasure. But then you can go the other route. You can resist all of the games, resist all of the foolishness, and it creates a friction in your existence. Because you're going against the grain, it's going to create friction. You're not going to never not have friction going against the grain. Anytime you go against the grain, it's going to be friction. You're going to experience in your real-time life is struggle. But when you have a higher evolved purpose, then you have a higher threshold for the ability to absorb and assimilate the struggle and make something positive from it, right? So now, either way, you can get so much pain built up, it can only last for so long, and then you are automatically so strong that there's not enough pain left to make you oppressed. And they call that enlightenment on the left-hand path. Now, to give you examples, we have enlightenment Crowley style, left-hand paths, Sean Puffy Combs, Jay-Z, following the Thelema. Then you have enlightenment of the right-hand path. You have those who worship the goddess Kali, living in Cali, of the right-hand path, who practice trying to follow the codes of righteousness to salvation and liberation. You know, like your Tupac and Eazy-E, even though they look on the surface to be pariahs of society that they want all of us to look like, what Pac called a thug. Some of us call them gangbangers, thug niggas, real niggas, G's, OGs, YGs, BGs, you know, the brothers. But trying to follow the code of righteousness, some people don't understand what that means. And so then you have your churches misleading people, telling them that righteousness means that you can't do this and you don't do that, and you can't do this and you don't do that. Righteousness don't work like that. A righteous man walk through his life and he fall down, he make a mistake, he error, because he's still human, right? When he error, what does he do? At the onset of recognition of the error, he take the necessary steps to clean it up and make amends for his wrong. Sometimes he's not going to be able to do that, in which case he only have left to forgive himself until such times he forgive those he transgressed against. This is the purpose of the Lord's Prayer. It's showing you the path. That's why they say, how should we pray? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. First of all, the prayer is all wrong when it said our Father, because the original was the Hail Mary, which was our mother who art in heaven, hallowed be her name. Her kingdom come, her will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And they changed the gender because they didn't change the entirety of the story. They can change the gender, they can change the name. As long as the star part, the 3 stars, the 3 wise men, the Orianos, it got to be in there. And the lady that greets the 3 wise men, what they call it in the book Mary, which is the Sphinx, which represents the female Leo, laying and waiting for the sun to return at rest. That's why the Sphinx is at rest in Egypt by the Great Pyramid. She's at rest because she was waiting. She was waiting for 2019. That's what she was waiting on. Anyway, so those things had to be present, and then they can change the gender. They can tell you to look at the story in a different way. Let me think about this. The Bible fit together like a perfect tapestry of information. So they mean that they had to sync them because they did not all come from the same source. Meaning that all of the books in the Bible are not Jewish doctrine and origin. It's not the Hebrew doctrine. Some of it is Egyptian, some of it is Greek, some of it is Roman, but they got it all to mesh and made one of the most perfect books you ever read, because you got the art of war in there, you got the art of sex in there, you got the art of love in there, you got the art of hate, you have business strategy in there, you have it's so much stuff in the book. Now, we, those who they tried to lie to us and told us we were slaves, but slavery didn't exist. We never accepted the religion Christianity is what people not understanding until the last like 75 years. Martin Luther King really made us accept Christianity as a religion and a religious doctrine with the marches. Even the AME Church of the early 1900s, which was the largest black organization in church in this country, even probably to this day, because there's probably some that don't even call, because they do that in order to have a different following and congregation and a different approach. But even they knew that we concealed the African conjure under the religion of Christianity. When Massa found out, the conjure was identified in the Catholicism as the voodoo, the Santeria, and the hoodoo. But under the traditional Protestant Christianity, they couldn't tell where it was at. Now, it was easy to tell the Catholic because they had too many tales that was from the African religion in the Catholic when they created the voodoo and the Santeria. Like the heavy usage of the chicken feather. They don't do that in the Catholic Church. So the slave master automatically knew he wasn't really a slave prison driver. He was a corrections officer. This is what y'all got to understand. We was never African Americans never existed, and there was never an African American slave. We were Amur Inca, and we were prisoners of war. And we got caught in a war that didn't have nothing to do with us, that somebody else brought over to us over here. And once we were under attack over here, and they felt that we were vulnerable, then they attacked the Afar Inca, what you call Africa today. And over there, they didn't call it Afar Inca. They call it Ifra, I-F-R-A, Imexum. But it's the same term, two different languages. We go over here, we knew about them. We called that Afar Inca. We called this Amur Inca. And that's why they call it America, because they want to try to deceive the genetic memory, but it ain't going to work because one of us, the baddest motherfucker ever born. I don't